Why not join forces and finally get the job done and get it done right?
President Trump calls for bipartisan support for the good of the American people.
Plus, in Maine, questions about the medical marijuana program and how it might fit in with recreational pot use.
And I think we can all come together to help this family heal.
And that is what's happening. A Maine community rallying behind a family struggling with the loss of a loved one. It's all next on The Morning Report. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sharon Rose Vasnes.
And I'm Lee Nelson. Thanks for joining us. A lot to get to on this Wednesday morning. Lots of weather out there. Let's begin with a check. And hello to Todd.
Yeah, good morning, guys. We'll see a lot of changes from start to finish. I think the end of the day will kind of surprise you with how warm it feels and kind of muggy it'll feel later on. Right now, it's kind of cool and clammy. Temps are around 40, and up north, there are a few spots that are around 32. And with some showers coming on in, there could be a slick area on the roadways, so watch out there. These showers are moving off to the north and east, and they're kind of intermittent, but they're about to pick up in coverage in southern Maine very shortly with that next little batch. Off to the west, some really heavy downpours and a severe weather outbreak here with some thunderstorms and tornadoes. Some of those thunderstorms and the lightning associated with them will actually make it into the northeast at the end of the day, and we could have some rumbles around here later on tonight. This morning, passing, for the most part, chilly showers and areas of dense fog that'll slow you down on some of the roads this morning. Middle of the day, off and on showers, some may be briefly heavy. Temperatures will be rising up close to 50 at that point as the wind kicks up out of the south. End of the day, there could be a few sunny breaks. Temperatures will approach record levels after dark. That's the strange thing. They'll continue to rise after the sun sets. And we'll also have an evening thunderstorm risk right there passing through maybe between about 8 and 10 o'clock in the evening. So we'll watch for that. Chilly, raw, and wet to start, 40. Scattered showers milder, middle of the day, 48. And downpours with rising temperatures in the evening into the 50s, maybe even close to 60. I'll be back in a few minutes with more, guys.
Sounds good, Todd. Thank you very much. See you then. 5:02 our time. We'll begin in Washington. The nation is reacting to President Trump's first address to Congress, in which he struck kind of a new tone.
The president's speech brought cheers, tears, and a new vision for the country, a sharp contrast from his first month in office. Edward Lawrence has the latest.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
President Donald Trump wasted no time condemning anti-Semitic threats and vandalism.
While we may be a nation divided on policies, we are a country that stands united in condemning hate and evil in all of its very ugly forms.
He laid out aggressive goals for jobs, infrastructure, and immigration, but lacked a lot of specifics.
I believe that real and positive immigration reform is possible.
Mr. Trump had harsh words for ISIS.
A network of lawless savages that have slaughtered Muslims and Christians and men and women and children of all faiths and all beliefs.
He directed the Department of Defense to demolish the terror group. The president ended with a call for unity.
We are one people with one destiny. We all bleed the same blood.
The speech had mixed reviews, with some Democrats saying they can't ignore his past divisive language.
The volume was just slightly lower, but the rhetoric was the same.
Coming together as a nation involves more than just campaign rhetoric or empty promises and platitudes. There have to be specific steps.
Republicans believe the president hit the mark.
We do expect an executive order today rewriting the temporary travel ban. The president defended it last night as necessary. The new order is expected to drop Iraq as one of the banned countries. Edward Lawrence, NBC News, Washington.
And from the nation's capital to Maine's capital, Maine lawmakers are just starting to work out the details of Maine's new marijuana law. In a public forum in Augusta, people jammed a hearing room for a chance to offer their ideas on what lawmakers should do. One of the ongoing issues has been the future of the medical marijuana program. There are an estimated 37,000 people who have marijuana prescriptions in the state right now.
How is a new system of recreational marijuana going to fit within what we already have? And do we really need two systems? I think that's one of the threshold questions we're going to have to take a look at.
As of now, there starts to be a growing concern because some of our patients are reaching out to me and saying, well, I cannot get my certification renewed, or providers think it's no longer needed.
And of course, we should mention these questions come at a time when the Trump administration says it may start enforcing federal law, which does prohibit the use of recreational marijuana. That committee that had the meeting yesterday says of now it plans to proceed with its work.
Meantime, the Maine Municipal Association is working with community leaders to figure out how they want to proceed with the marijuana law. At a workshop in Freeport, nearly 200 town managers, city councilors, police officers, and others came together to work on the logistics, things like zoning issues and licensing rules. The one thing working in their favor is local control, because local officials set the rules for their own communities. But getting everyone in the community on one page is proving to be very challenging.
They can decide how they want their town to interface with the retail marijuana industry. And that's a powerful thing.
Some people feel that it was passed and so hence it's legal and we should respect that. I'm hearing other people say, yeah, I voted for it, but it doesn't mean I want it to happen in my town. And so the use, I think, is very different from the sale.
The Maine Municipal Association is considering holding another workshop sometime this summer.
A new nonprofit group is organizing to try and protect Maine's new national monument in the Katahdin region. The group is calling itself Friends of Katahdin Woods and Waters. It plans to work with the National Park Service, which manages the monument. The president of that group is Lucas St. Clair, the son of Roxanne Quimby, who of course donated the land for the monument in the first place. But this still faces some opposition. Governor LePage just recently asked the president to return that land to private ownership. It's been a little over a month since the body of Paul Francis III, Junebug, as his friends called him, was recovered from the Penobscot River in Bucksport.
Yeah, now the same community that came together to look for him is doing its part to help the family. A fundraiser is set for this Saturday. There'll be a silent auction with things like guitars, gift certificates, and jewelry to bid on. Junebug's friends, many of whom are in several different bands, will be performing. The Francis family needs $1,500 to pay for Junebug's burial costs. If they raise more than that, it will go to a fund created for his 2-year-old son, Hunter.
With what this family's already been through, I'd like to think we could all come together and take care of that for his 2-year-old son, his father, who is distraught, understandably, and it's just something I think we could all come together to help this family heal.
The fundraiser is scheduled for Saturday at 5 p.m. at the Brick Church on Union Street in Bangor. Coming up, if you rent through Airbnb, you could be paying a little more come April. We'll tell you why.
And if you do have any snow left over in your yard, you might want to say goodbye to it for now. Todd's going to tell us about all the rain and the record-setting temperatures, and I guarantee you I'll still have snow in my yard.
So this is going to be a fun weather day to kind of kick back and watch this weather kind of unfold. Starting out a little chilly now, but after dark tonight, there will be some communities in far southern Maine that are hitting 60 degrees, and that'll happen after dark, which is the strangest part of it all. Now, I did put a line on here because north of this line, you can see Greenville's at 32 degrees, Rumford, Freiburg 33. There could be some slick spots as these showers sort of work through off to the north and east. Right now, the steadiest rains are along the mid-coast and the west side of Penobscot Bay here and over the islands of Penobscot Bay. Some light showers and some drizzle in Casco Bay in the greater Portland area. Nothing showing up on radar in Bangor, but it's still really damp and there's some dense fog. Steadiest rain at the moment is to the north up there in the county. Now off to the west, we've got the cold front and the whole system's out here. And there are some nasty thunderstorms in the Midwest. Numerous tornadoes have touched down. Some of these storms are expected to get into the northeast, and we actually may end up with some rumbles of thunder after dark tonight as that cold front comes through. School bell forecast, jackets early, boots too, and umbrellas, because after school and this morning, there'll be some showers around, and there's a pretty good chance that school districts end up with an indoor kind of a recess day from the raindrops. So this morning, passing chilly showers, areas of dense fog to slow you down on your commute. Middle of the day, off and on showers continue. Some may be briefly heavy. Temperatures continue to rise. We'll be closer to 50 at that point. And then at the end of the day, a few sunny breaks are possible. Our temps will be approaching some records late in the day too. And then there may be an evening thunderstorm coming through. Looks like around 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. We'll have to watch that radar pretty closely. High temperatures expected to be 58, again happening after dark. 56 for Lewiston and 55 up in Rumford. We get to eastern Maine, low 50s down east coastline. 54 for Bangor and 40 degrees up in Presque Isle. Now, the forecast that I'm putting out here for Portland is 58. That would tie the record for the high temp today. And Bangor, I'm going for 54, and that would break it. So again, we're going to threaten those records. Marine forecast, gale warnings go into effect tonight. Seas 5 to 8 feet, south winds 10 to 20 knots with gusts to 30 knots. So it's going to be a showery day. Make sure you have your rain gear and the umbrella. It'll get warm later on too. And then tomorrow, that 44 gets set in the morning as we're clearing out. Really windy in the afternoon, and temperatures fall into the 30s. And then it's all about that cold. Boy, is it going to be a cold weekend. Haven't had a weekend like this since early February. High on Saturday, just 25 degrees.
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
Not happy about that.
You're giving me the evil eye.
No, I can't.
Yeah, but she does that a lot. You just go see it all the time.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't know what hurt.
5:13, too late. 5:13. So, you love to save money, right? You love to save money on gas, right?
But some people take that to an extreme and what can be a dangerous level. We'll talk about hypermilers when we come back.
All right, we're back at 5:15, and here's the story about hypermiling, a term for techniques to raise your miles per gallon.
Right, some can pay off, but some methods can actually be dangerous. Here is Peter Bernard.
Insurance executive by trade, hypermiler when he's on the road, Niall madly tries to go as far as possible on each tankful. It made economic sense in college, but now it's more of a game. The sticker on his older Civic Hybrid says,
in the city, about 32 to 37.
And you're getting?
Right now I have 43. Earlier today I had 48.
Hardcore hypermilers draft or follow trucks to increase MPGs. Niall says patience is his secret sauce for a cheap ride.
Accelerate not too quickly. You don't want your revs to get too high. You want to steadily increase your speed while also letting off the gas as you shift into the next gear.
This gauge tells him his current mileage.
It's so fun. Like right now I'm coasting at 43 miles per hour and I'm sitting steady at about 60 miles per gallon.
Drafting is a race term.
Troopers tend to see more hypermilers when gas prices surge. Sergeant Steve Gaskins is all about people saving money within the law, but following too close is dangerous and illegal.
We're looking at 55 miles an hour. You're looking at 5.5 car lengths between every vehicle. What is a good safe rule of thumb.
Avoiding stops saves money, but cutting through parking lots is illegal.
And what happens is you're trying to cut through to get across to the other roadway and people are parking, walking through the parking lot and so forth, and we have crashes.
Niall's gas warning light is on. No worries.
That means I have 3 days left.
Oh my goodness. There are some other less dangerous ways to help out your gas mileage too.
Yeah, clean out your trunk, check your tire inflation, turn off your air. That can boost MPGs.
Yeah.
I mean, do all those things if they are worth it to you.
Right.
Clean out your trunk sounds like the hardest one to me.
Takes some effort. All right, starting this spring, the home sharing service Airbnb is going to be collecting taxes here in Maine. Governor LePage has called on the company to do so and says Airbnb is voluntarily agreeing to do that, start collecting a lodging tax in April. Short-term rentals in Maine are supposed to be subject to a 9% sales tax. Airbnb just hasn't been collecting that up to this point. The governor actually wants to increase the tax to 10%. Last year, Airbnb brought 174,000 visitors to Maine, and property owners earned more than $26 million.
The city of Bangor and the Waterfront Concert Series Company are smoothing out the final details of a 10-year contract. Right now, financial details surrounding the contract aren't being made public, but a spokesperson for Waterfront said the contract will address some previous headaches, like the number of bathrooms at the venue.
We're still working. The city's working on it, so our hope is to get to that point. But I think we're going to have something. I don't know if we're going to get 100% of the way there. We've got a very limited timeline. Fortunately, it's 50 degrees out today. And if we wanted to start tomorrow or the next day, putting some sewer pipes in and burying some utilities, we could.
The kickoff date for the summer concert series should be coming out very soon. Shows are expected to start in late May. And now to Portland. The renaming of Franklin Street in Portland has met with some opposition.
Yeah, a lot of people are coming out and saying they don't think it's the best idea to change Franklin Street to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, an idea that's been pitched. Our Kelsey Fabian is out and about this morning to bring us up to date on this story. Good morning, Kelsey.
Good morning, Sharon and Lee. Well, Franklin Street has 4 lanes and it connects Interstate 295 with downtown Portland and the city's waterfront. Now, last night at a public hearing, they discussed renaming Franklin Street to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. But some city council members in Portland say that instead of renaming the major roadway, maybe the city should find a different way to honor the legacy of the civil rights leader. Now, the Press Herald reports that most people at the meeting said they didn't like the idea. Many agreed it would be inappropriate to rename the street after the slain civil rights activists because so many families were dislocated by the project. Franklin Street was reconstructed in the late 1960s as a divided arterial roadway to allow vehicles greater access to Commercial Street in downtown Portland. Now, many people at the meeting said they do agree that it would be great to have something that honors Martin Luther King Jr. here in the city, but they say that maybe creating a task force to find a different way to honor Martin Luther King Jr. would be the best idea. That's the latest from Franklin Street in downtown Portland. I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Kelsey.
Hey, check this out. The Patriots surprised everybody after announcing they won't be using the franchise tag on Dante Hightower. Essentially, when a team can lock up a free agent for one season and pay them a certain cap chosen by the league. It's used to ensure that player stays with the team even as contract negotiations continue. The last time the Pats used the franchise tag was a couple of years ago on kicker Steven Gostkowski.
A Super Bowl champ known for his tackles on the field is showing a bit of a softer side.
Yeah, defensive lineman Trey Flowers helping to release a harbor seal in Rhode Island.
She was rescued in December after the Mystic Aquarium Animal Rescue Team found her injured. Her name? Flowers, of course.
Aha!
You know, I'm gonna tell him it's cool. You know, I don't know any teammates of mine that got an animal named after him, so, you know, I got the upper hand on that. So, yeah.
Flowers, the seal, was the first rescued seal of the year to be released back into the wild.
That's pretty cool.
It's a cute little seal pup, too.
They all are, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
So cute.
They definitely are. But you don't want to get near them.
No.
Right.
They're actually pretty aggressive, you know?
Yeah, but they're wild animals. As cute as they look, they're still wild animals, right?
That's okay, yeah. That
Like
was making
dogs.
Sense.
Oh, no, wait. Those aren't wild animals.
Well, mine is, but that's another issue
different story,
altogether.
right?
Training school failed miserably for that little guy.
So yesterday I showed you the Arctic air, which was still way up there near the Arctic Circle. Today it's getting closer.
No.
Yeah, Pickle Lake in Canada and Moosonee in Canada, right there on James Bay, are below zero now. So that air is getting closer and closer. It's still got some time. We still have some time to enjoy the warmth. Today will be exceptionally warm, kind of going out with a bang here, these warm temperatures. Tomorrow, we'll have highs set in the morning. By the afternoon, it's in the 30s as winter returns. It'll be super gusty, over 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and a lot of mountain snow squalls, too, likely picking up a couple, maybe 2-3 inches of snow in the higher terrain, which is good news for those ski resorts. Friday, we actually narrowly miss out on some snow. Looks like southern New England gets grazed by a very weak storm system. For us, it's all about the Arctic surge for the upcoming weekend. So the end is near record highs today, 40s tomorrow, and then see ya, 30, 24, 30, 34. 4-day stretch there, some really cold stuff.
Is that what they mean when they say the bottom drops out?
Basically. Exactly.
Darn.
Now we know.
All right. Thank you, Todd, very much.
Yep.
All right, we got to take a break. 5:23. You know, you can have a religious experience pretty much anytime, anywhere, right?
Right, even on your toast. We'll explain. Coming up. So today is the official start of Maine Restaurant Week. It started off actually yesterday, though, with a little friendly competition among restaurants at the Sea Dog Brewing Company in South Portland. 10 restaurants competing. We showed you part of the incredible breakfast cook-off yesterday during the morning report. So who won? First-timer chef Brian Anderson with Congress Square Restaurant. All of this year's proceeds for the sold-out event will benefit Preble Street Resource Center to help feed Maine's homeless.
I thought he was lying. I thought it was completely fake, and then he showed me, and my mind was blown.
Mind blown. That's Andrew Maley talking about his dad's toast, of course. And you can see it if you look closely. Andrew and his dad, George, believe that's the face of Jesus on the toast. George made the toast 3 weeks ago at his home in Windham with butter and cinnamon, and he was having a bad day. He missed some loved ones, and he said, boy, when he saw that image of the toast, it changed his day. He's hoping to sell it on eBay and use the profits to help his 2 sons. We don't mean to make fun, but all of that Jesus-looking stuff is a tad of a stretch as far as I'm concerned.
You gotta wonder. It'll make some money on eBay, I guarantee it.
Probably. And then, high five.
Right?
To you, all the way.
More power. All right, coming up, it is the big story of the day. Unseasonably warm temperatures could mean trouble, though, for some rivers in the area. We're going to look at flooding concerns here in Maine next.
And just in case you needed some proof, there's what you can expect in the 7-day, although look to the weekend, sun, but colder temperatures. We're right back.